Good day, grade 11 students. This is teacher Hyran and welcome to the video discussion of our today's topic with the title, The Language of Hypothesis Testing. So first, let us know what is hypothesis testing. By definition, hypothesis testing is a type of statistical inference which assess the evidence provided by data about some claim concerning a population. Now, there are two competing statistical hypotheses when we are constructing hypothesis testing. The first one will be the null hypothesis. And your null hypothesis will always give you an equation. So that's one of the basic knowledge that you need to understand about writing null hypothesis. It's always going to be an equation. So in my example, I have null hypothesis which is mu equal to 0, or null hypothesis which is p is equal to 0. So we're going to be working with population mean and population proportion in working with the hypothesis testing in our future lessons. Now, the alternative hypothesis will be HA or H alternative, and all the symbols are mathematical symbols that we will be used as an inequality. So it could be mu is greater than 0, or mu is less than 0, or mu not equal to 0. And when we're working for the population proportion, we're gonna be working with p greater than 0 or p less than 0, or p not equal to 0. And these are just the statistical or mathematical notation that we will use in constructing or writing our null and alternative hypothesis. Now, let's have a simple claim in this particular statistical hypothesis. Now, the claim here is that Pop Soda claims that each bottle of their soft drink is filled at 8 ounces all the time. So that is their claim, and we want to prove if their claim is true based on our sample. And when working with statistical hypothesis based on our sample, we'll be working with our null hypothesis and alternative hypothesis. The two competing hypotheses that we're gonna be testing to see if our conclusions will be significant for alternative hypothesis. Now, for the null hypothesis, since it's always going to be an equal sign, we will always believe that the claim will be true. So for this particular null hypothesis, each bottle is filled with 8 ounces of soda per bottle. So we will believe that manufacturers claim that Pop Soda always fill their bottle of soda at 8 ounces all the time. So by working or by writing it out in a statistical notation, you need to set your mu, which is your population mean, as the average soda content of this particular manufacturer, which is Pop Soda. Now, there are some different versions of your alternative hypothesis. You could also test if the mean soda content will be greater than 8 ounces, or your mean soda content is not equal to 8 ounces. So, those are some alternative hypotheses that we could also test when we're working with hypothesis testing. So your H null will be mu equal to 8 ounces. So we believe that Pop Soda is indeed filling their bottles with 8 ounces of soft drinks all the time. Now, the alternative hypothesis will be each bottle is filled with less than 8 ounces of soda per bottle. So that is what we are going to test in this particular claim. So based out of our sample, we're going to write that the mu of the population mean, which is the average soda content, will be less than 8 ounces. So that is what we're going to test based on our sample. And it will be specific in each problem, and we will soon find out how we can specify which inequality we're going to use in answering hypothesis or constructing hypothesis test in a given word problem. Next, we have an example here. Rothen's car averages 26 miles per gallon. He switches to a new brand of motor oil that is advertised to increase gas mileage. After driving 3,000 miles with the new oil, he wants to determine if the average gas mileage has increased. State your appropriate hypothesis. Now, as advertised, it says there that the motor oil that Rothen is using is timed to increase the gas mileage of his car. So let's set our parameter, which here is the population mean, which is mean gas mileage of Rothen's car in the highway. So that will be our mean or our parameter, and for our null hypothesis, we will always believe that the manufacturer's claim is true. Therefore, mu is equal to 26 mile per gallon. So this is how you write it out in symbol. And in the sentence form, you can write it out as Rothen's mean gas mileage is 26 miles per gallon. Now, for the alternative hypothesis, you need to use the appropriate inequality associated with the word problem. And in every word problem in statistics, you need to be able to understand how to find keyword that you will use as a clue to write your correct alternative hypothesis. In this case, while reading the word problem, we know that he wants to test if the gas mileage or the average gas mileage has increased after he used the new brand of motor oil for his car. So our alternative hypothesis here that we are going to test will be mu is greater than 26 miles per gallon. So Rothen's mean gas mileage is more than 26 miles per gallon after using the new brand of motor oil. Now, that is how we write or construct our null and alternative hypothesis based out of the word problem. Now, the full or complete steps on how to construct your hypothesis testing will be discussed in our next discussion. But the important steps in working with the hypothesis testing is writing our null hypothesis and alternative hypothesis.